A big fan of the show, and one thing I know, and your previous shows as well, and one thing I love about watching the show is, you guys always go through the cost to, oh, this deck is going to cost us this, that. How are you dealing with not so much just the increase in cost, but the volatility in costs to remodel or build a home?
It has been very challenging the last few years as a real estate investor, and it really started when the interest rates doubled and the cost of materials went way up, because a lot of investors like me got caught in the middle of projects where when we went to sell those houses, a lot of them we actually lost money because we sold for less than we thought.
Yeah. Is demand there right now? Is demand high? Because when we talk about on the show, we talk a lot about inventory levels being low, interest rates being high, and that's kind of hurt both the buyer and the seller.
Yeah, so right now, you're seeing all over the news that inventory is increasing all across the country, 20%, 30%, 40%. But also, you're not seeing the fact that with the increase in inventory, we still have less inventory than a normal real estate market. And that's because there's just no inventory. And there's no inventory because I think it's over 80% of households today have a mortgage under 4%. And most of the people that have those mortgages, they're not going to sell their house, pay more money to get a 7% rate. And then we're in this huge housing shortage because of the Great Recession. Well, what happened back then? Well, all the builders, they went bankrupt, so they stopped building. So today, we're missing houses. Houses are high, rates are high, and now we have tariffs.
You have a business that also allows people to sort of, invest in the real estate market. What is the focus of that? Is that primarily on multifamily businesses, single-family homes, what?
Yeah, so my company, TM Capital, we go where the deals are. So right now, the biggest deals we're seeing is distressed multifamily in foreclosure, or in California, we're taking advantage of ADU laws. We're buying houses, we're adding units, and we're renting them out. So we just focus really on all aspects of real estate.
And when you say the ADU, these are these alternate dwelling units that you can basically put a new home on an existing lot that already has a home on it.
Yes, and it's becoming more common everywhere around the country because, for example, in California, you couldn't take a house in a normal neighborhood and build 3 units. They would have never allowed that. Today, they're begging the people to do it because we're out of land, we're out of time, and we have too many people.
I understand why California would do that, and even a place like New York where, we've kind of already embraced density for better or for worse. But do you think some of the other states that maybe are a little bit more sprawling, those cities and states more sprawling, do you think they would also be open to maybe having more density? Because I always feel like there's pushback at least amongst the residents.
Yeah, in the future, absolutely. When it's needed, I think it's going to come, because at the end of the day, there's only so much supply, there's only so much demand, and if we have a major housing problem, we have to figure out how to fix that problem. The only way to fix it is by adding more units.
When you're working on a project, what is your biggest cost? So what's your most volatile? Is it the actual materials? Is it the lumber, the drywall? Is it the labor? What's the biggest thing you worry about when you head into those projects?
Honestly, the biggest cost would be the cost of time for 2 different reasons. One, all the delays with the cities getting the permits. So that's the biggest cost. But what's the second reason? It's also the riskiest, because if you're put 4 or 5 months behind on a project, something significant happens in the market, your resale value goes down, then you're at risk. So in order to be as risk adverse as possible, the goal is to get in and out as fast as you can if you're trying to flip. But the one thing I learned about flipping, don't flip houses. If you want to make money, you flip houses. If you want to build wealth, you buy and hold real estate. So that's my #1 goal today, is to buy, hold, and wait.
Okay, and so you've kind of made that transition. You're still flipping. Obviously, you have the show Flipping 101, and you've had a lot of other shows as well on HGTV with your wife, and they're very entertaining. I don't want to get into how TV is made, and we know that there's some embellishment. I work in television as well. But when people watch that, are they getting a realistic view of what the risk and the potential benefits are?
They're seeing the entire process of flipping a house, except for the #1 most important and most difficult part. That's finding the house. So the magic in the real estate business isn't about the design. It's not about listing it and marketing it. It's about what you pay for it. So in order to be a successful investor, you have to learn how to buy right.
But there's a lot of competition out there, or at least there was. I remember a few years ago, it seemed like everybody was flipping houses, just as a side, not even as a full-time business. Is it still that intense, the competition? Because I even see you on the show, you'll be like, oh, I found something, you better get over here right now or we're going to lose it. Is that still the case?
I got to tell you, it's probably more competitive today than I've seen in a very long time, because there's no inventory. So you have so many people fighting for the same deals.
Are you primarily concentrated in California, meaning the projects that you're doing?
Flipping houses, Southern California, buying real estate. I own a couple hundred houses all over the country, a couple thousand apartments, self-storage units in different markets, typically along the Sun Belt, like Arizona or Texas, or we have a really nice project. We bought 371 units in Northwest Arkansas.
So longer term, when you look at demographics and changing trends here, like what part of the country would you be most bullish on as a real estate investor?
Yeah, I mean, today the Sun Belt region has done really, really well. But here's what I learned during the Great Recession. The markets that go up the fastest when things are hot are the ones that go down the fastest. But they also rebound the highest. So my goal is to identify what markets along the Sun Belt, like Arizona, for example, Phoenix, went up crazy high. And now it's going down. That's where I want to buy, because it's already shown when the market's stabilizing, the demand is going to go, and that's where you get the big win.
I have to ask you, obviously you have a big presence in Southern California. We just had the wildfires, which decimated several communities there, including Altadena, Malibu, and a few others. There's going to be a rebuilding effort at some point once they finish with the cleanup and the investigation. I mean, what is the mood like down there in Southern California right now?
You know, we're in Orange County. We're not really feeling it as much as LA County. I know LA County, they're going through it. We have a lot of friends down there, and it's a heartbreaking situation. I mean, it's way worse than most people think. So I think as a community, everybody's really focused on rebuilding and rebuilding a brighter future.
I want to talk a little bit more about Flipping 101 and your show. And why do you continue to do it? Is it? I mean, you have these other businesses, which I assume you're living well off of. Is there still value in doing these shows, HGTV shows?
You know, honestly, I have a lot of fun doing them. I've been on TV for almost 15 years now. I'm passionate about real estate. I'm passionate about teaching, and I really want to share my knowledge with the world. And if I can reach them through, through television, then that's the way I want to do it.
When fans see you in the street or the airport or whatever, like, what's the main thing that they ask you? What do they want to know from you?
Aren't you that guy? Hey, should I buy a house? I said, only if you can afford it.
But and are you actually helping you're producing these as well, or are you?
For the Flip Off, the new show that just aired, I was one of the creators of that show, producers of that show, talent of that show, and creative on that show.
All right. Well, Tarek's new show, Flipping 101, the new season of that show, I should say, debuts on Thursday on HGTV. And if you watch HGTV for any length of time, you'll see he has quite a few other shows that either existed or were in the past that you can also take part in. Tarek El Moussa, there, real estate investor and the host of shows on HGTV.